Claude Opus 4.7 costs you $25 per million output tokens. Input is $5 per million, so output is 5 times more expensive than input. If you cut your output in half without losing accuracy, your cost will almost be cut in half too. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past week with one tiny skill installed in Claude Code. Same exact prompt, same codebase, and Claude Code just gave me an answer that's 41% shorter with zero loss in technical detail. Output tokens went from 576 down to 337. The only thing I changed was typing /command before my prompt. No model swap, no settings change, no config file. The skill is called Caveman, and it's basically taken over my .claude folder. The repo's official benchmark across 10 real coding tasks shows an average 65% reduction in output tokens. Some prompts hit 87%. The React error boundary task in their benchmark went from 3,400 output tokens down to 456. At Opus 4.7 pricing, that one prompt alone goes from costing about 8.5 cents to just over a cent. Multiply that across a full coding session and the math gets real fast. That's the part that made me actually try it, instead of just bookmarking the repo. So here's the actual problem. If you're using Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, or any agentic coding tool on a paid plan, you're paying for output tokens. LLMs love to pad responses, full sentences with transitions, polite hedging, restating what you just said back to you, M-dashes everywhere, the whole thing. None of that helps you ship code faster. You're literally paying extra for the model to be polite at you. And on a pro plan with weekly usage caps, that padding is what burns your limit by Wednesday. Here you can see the different results with normal token counts side by side with Caveman token counts, all measured against the actual Claude API. Explain a React re-render bug, 1180 tokens normally, 159 with Caveman, that's 87% saved. Set up a Postgres connection pool, 2,347 tokens down to 380, 84% saved. Debug a Postgres race condition, 1,200 down to 232. Even on tasks where it doesn't compress as hard, like refactoring a callback to async await, you still save 22%. Across all 10, the average comes out to 65% fewer output tokens. And you can run their benchmark script yourself if you don't trust the numbers. The repo has the harness right there. Before I continue, let me tell you about TestSprite. Manual testing is slow, painful, and let's be honest, most devs spend nearly half their time just writing test cases instead of building. That's where TestSprite comes in, the world's first fully autonomous AI software testing agent that handles your entire QA process for you. Here's how it works. You point TestSprite at your project, and it instantly reads your PRD, or even figures out what your app is supposed to do straight from the codebase. Then it automatically generates test plans, writes the test code, runs everything across your front end and back end in a cloud sandbox, and hands you back a detailed report, all of it cutting your testing costs by up to 90%. If you're using Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, or any AI coding tool, TestSprite plugs right into your workflow through MCP. In real benchmarks, it boosted AI-generated code pass rates from 42% all the way to 93% in a single iteration. And with scheduled monitoring, you set it once and it watches your software 24/7. No broken releases, no manual checks. Head over to testsprite.com and try it free. All right, let me show you what I mean. I've got an e-commerce dashboard built in Next.js open in Claude Code right now. Standard setup, sidebar, charts, a few pages. I asked it how I can make the layout fully responsive for mobile. Vanilla Claude Code, no skill, just the raw prompt. Here's what came back. It opens with, the layout already has the right bones. Then it tells me the weak spots are usually certain grid components. Then we get a paragraph that starts with the pragmatic path and walks through audit, switch, reduce, confirm. Then a trade-off paragraph. Then it asks me if I want it to start with the top-level pages. 576 output tokens for that. Nothing wrong with that answer technically. The information is correct. But look at how much of it is connective tissue. The pragmatic path. Doing it surgically per component keeps changes small, but means touching about 10 files. That's a sentence written for a human reading a blog post, not for me trying to ship a feature in the next 20 minutes. Now watch this. Same exact prompt, same codebase, but I prefix it with /caveman. 337 output tokens, same technical substance. It tells me layout bones are good, lists the weak spots as actual bullets, calls out the specific files, mentions the chart wrapper issue with response containers, names the breadcrumb crowding problem, gives me the trade-off in 2 short lines, and asks if I want it to scan or patch. 41% fewer output tokens, and honestly, I find this version easier to scan. There's no narrative I have to read through to get to the punch list. Here you can see the React re-render bug. Normal Claude says, the reason your React component is re-rendering is likely because you're creating a new object reference on each render cycle, and so long details. 69 tokens. Caveman version. New object ref each render, inline object prop equals new ref equals re-render. Wrap in Yosemite. 19 tokens. Same fix. 75% less word. Let me show you exactly how to install this thing, because the instructions are different for every agent. For Claude Code, it's 2 commands, Claude plugin marketplace add, then Claude plugin install Caveman at Caveman. That installs the plugin from the Claude Code plugin marketplace, wires up auto-loading hooks, and gives you the /caveman command immediately. Also, this works on basically every coding agent out there, not just Claude Code. For Codex, you clone the repo, hit /plugins inside Codex, search Caveman, install. For Gemini CLI, it's Gemini extensions install with the GitHub URL. For Cursor, Windsurf, Klein, and GitHub Copilot, there's an npx command. The npx skills tool actually supports over 40 agents, so if you're running OpenCode, Roo, AMP, Goose, Kiro, anything in that ecosystem, the same command works. Okay, so once it's installed, how do you actually use it? There are 4 trigger phrases. /caveman, the words talk like caveman, caveman mode, or just less tokens please. Codex uses $caveman instead of / because of how Codex commands work. To turn it off mid-session, you say stop caveman or normal mode. There are 3 intensity levels and 1 wildcard. Light drops filler words but keeps full grammar, so it still reads professional. Full is the default, that's actual caveman speech, drops articles, uses fragments. Ultra is telegraphic, abbreviates everything, uses arrows for cause and effect. And then there's Wenyan mode, which writes responses in classical Chinese characters because they're the most token-dense written language in human history. I cannot read classical Chinese, so I haven't used it, but if you can, that's apparently where the absolute maximum compression lives. Let me run one more prompt on the same dashboard project to show you another angle. I'm going to ask Claude Code to review my dashboard layout component for performance issues with Caveman active. And here's what comes back. It just lists the issues. Re-renders on parent state change, missing memo, chart remounting on every prop update, list rendered without keys, inline functions in JSX props, no throat clearing, no I noticed that you might consider, just the findings. That's the core idea behind one of the sub-skills called Caveman Review, which formats every code review comment as one line with a severity emoji and a fix. There are 3 other sub-skills worth knowing about. Caveman Commit writes git commit messages in conventional commits format with a 50-character subject line max, focused on why over what. Caveman Review is the one I just showed. And then there's Caveman Compress, which is the sneaky useful one. Your Claude.md file, which is the project memory file Claude reads at the start of every session, that file gets loaded into context every single time. Caveman Compress takes that file and rewrites it in Caveman style, keeps your original as a backup, and the result is roughly 46% fewer input tokens consumed every session start. Across the test files in their repo, one preferences file went from 706 tokens down to 285. So you're not just saving on output, you're cutting the cost of context that loads on every single new session. The thing the GitHub README points to that I didn't expect, there's a paper from March of this year titled Brevity Constraints, Reversed Performance Hierarchies in Language Models. Their finding is that when you constrain large models to brief responses, accuracy actually goes up by 26 percentage points on certain reasoning benchmarks, and it completely reversed which models scored higher. Verbose isn't always better. Sometimes less word equals more correct. So Caveman might literally be making your agent smarter, not just cheaper. The unexpected thing I found running this for a week, my own prompts started getting shorter. Once the model stops padding, you stop padding back at it. You stop typing, "Could you please?" and "I was wondering if." You just type the question. The whole loop gets faster, not just cheaper. That's the part I didn't see coming. Alright, so that's it from the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.